Homesteading and preppers. Hey everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. There's a lot of differences between homesteaders and preppers. I think it's the perfect match. I've mentioned before, preppers need to be more homestead oriented. Homesteaders need to be prepper oriented also. So, I'm going to show you around, show you some of the things that I do for my homestead. On my small acreage homestead, I have like 12 raised beds. Let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's like 16-ish containers also. So we do what we can. So I'm going to show you around a little bit and hopefully encourage you guys to be more self-sufficient, self-sustainable, producing your own calories. It's very, very important. Prep, yes. Have food storage? Yes, definitely. But we need to try to merge the two communities a lot more than maybe they are. So stay with me and I'm going to show you around what we've been doing, what's going on, those kind of things. And I'll show you some harvest, also yummy foods for you, healthy family, eat healthy whole natural foods. Very important, and exercise. So stay tuned. We'll show you around, talk about a bunch of different things. Just a minute. This is the first thing I'm going to talk about. Showing you one of the great prepper foods, I think, because it's an invasive species. And I'm talking about this one in this first raised bed here. Those are sunchokes, aka Jerusalem artichokes. They are tubers that are very high in protein. They're 28% protein. So that's very, very high in protein. They do, and they're low in the glycemic index for those people that are diabetic. They do, however, cause gas, intestinal pain sometimes. So ease them into your diet. If you're going to have this, just work your body into getting used to them. It may work well for some people. It may not work as well for other people. So just keep that in mind. That is a really good thing to have for your self-sufficient garden. Okay, always be adding new areas. This is a new area that we added, and there's a ton of potatoes in there. Bunch of potatoes. There is something sprouting up right there. That is not a potato though. There are other things in here also. We threw it's basically like old potatoes, old onions, zucchini, squashes, stuff like that. So we don't know what's going to grow up in there. It's going to be like a mystery area, but it'll be really cool. And also, you still get volunteer things like this. There's a BB gun target along with the potato. That we used to plant some potatoes here. And so we decided, hey, I'm going to grow up and be a potato plant. And it did. This is some of the bountiful harvest of the day. Bunch of carrots, bunch of beets. And you can see, I'll show you by my hand, you can see how big they are. Some of these carrots are pretty decent. Pretty good, and they're really yummy. And these beets are looking really good. So this is one of those things. Grow your own food. It tastes awesome. It tastes so much better than store-bought. It's enjoyable. It's leading you down the path of self-sufficiency. It is just, oh man, I just can't say enough about it. I'm learning as I go, just like a lot of people. And it's a fun trip. It's a fun journey. So please, start growing your own stuff. Speaking of potatoes, it's a really good staple, right? Easy to grow pretty much everywhere, and you can grow a lot of them. And then, the very important part of defense. Here, this guy is a potato defender. Homestead Defense Force, you gotta have it, right? Here we are, potatoes, onions, some squash planted there, and some, down in here, cucumbers. I got a lot of just random things going on. I would like to be a little more organized in my gardening, but I kind of like the organic feel of just having things growing everywhere. It's pretty cool. And then also some stuff going there. And then along through here, I planted some radishes just to grow up and do a quick little harvest. Squashes are really good. These, you can see all the squashes on them down in there. Oh yeah. Bunches of squashes, lots of flowers. That's really good. And then over here next to them are zucchinis. You can see down in there. Zucchini's growing. Yes, yummy. And that's in the front of the corn bed, which the corn, as you can see, is growing up really well. It is looking really good. This is the first I've done corn, and it appears that it's doing very well. Potatoes, like I said, here's a bunch of containers of potatoes. And then here, tomatoes, peppers, some more cucumbers, and then more zucchinis. You can see zucchini there. There's also some of these squash down here, the yellow crookneck squash. Hear that? That's the sound of freedom. America. It happens all the time around here. This raised bed is in the stages of regrowing because there's the trellis that the 7-foot tall plus peas grew up. They produced a bunch and we pulled them when they stopped producing a lot. And the potatoes are getting near ready to harvest. So what I did here is I planted more peas to get a second crop. You can see right there, right there, right there, right there. Yeah, they're all coming up. So pretty soon they'll start climbing this trellis thing again, and well, a bunch more peas. Over here, yeah, you can see potatoes. I like potatoes. Some more squash, more potatoes with a bunch of really beautiful flowers on them. And then in the end here, got some cucumbers coming up here, and then some more cucumbers here, and some more squash, more squash. Here's a pole bean. I like bush beans better. If I had a better setup for pole beans, I might like them. But that's what I got going on here. Some more pole bean or bush beans. And then this Jerusalem artichoke here, you can see is doing very well. It is very tall. Rhubarb is doing awesome. See down there, yep. And then this raised bed, it's going along. Lots of tomatoes gonna be coming in soon. Squash, bush bean, we got cabbages. Yep, cabbages are forming up. Kale and tomatoes. The kale is doing really well. Tomatoes or strawberries, that's about as big as they got this year. So they're establishing themselves for next year, I guess. As you can see, lots of tomatoes. Lots of tomatoes, that's gonna be good. And then we've been harvesting, like you see in this video. There's the last of our turnips. Pulled up the last of our turnips. Wow, they're going to town. Spending some money over there. Shoot, now they threw me off. Beets. Yep. Down in there. We harvested a bunch of beets you saw also. And then some carrots also. Thinning pretty much the carrots. So there's more carrots there. Grow a variety of stuff so that you can have all different kinds of good foods for your family. And flowers are important because the bees, nectar and pollen.
Yep.
We've got to do that for the bees. Keep the bees around. These are honeydews. As you can see, there's some little melons there. There's a melon there. So I'm really happy about that. And then these peas also came to the end of their life. So we pulled them out and replanted. And they are not coming up yet because they've only been planted for about 3 or 4 or 5 days-ish. But do the things. Grow your own food. Our first tomato about to be ripe. Yes. As well as another plant there, a bunch of tomatoes. And some behind the curve volunteer tomatoes that just decided to grow up. And over here is another volunteer tomato. Some beans I planted, and bell peppers and jalapenos that they won't really do much. They're just, I planted those as seed. And from seed around here, without a greenhouse to do starts, we probably won't really get any peppers. We may get some jalapenos. And then you see some more beans there. And then also some more flowers we planted there. You can see flowers coming up there. And then in these, we planted, these have basil. And then I think I was frustrated with the growth, so I planted some bush beans in there also. More zucchini. That one's getting almost ready. So there's, yeah, a couple of zucchini plants right there, as well as these little containers here. have bush beans in them. The blueberry bush, yeah, I produce some blueberries. Not a ton, it's just one bush. But yeah, I would like to add more to that. And our little Zen herb garden here is doing okay. As you see, our echinacea is growing up. Arugula is right there, doing well. Cilantro, yeah, it was a lot of hit or miss. And a lot of miss on our herbs this year. So we're going to do better in the future. Please grow your own food. Please raise your own animals. It's coming to a point where we're going to have to be self-sufficient for the most part, as much as we possibly can. That sets you up for success much more than only stockpiling food. If you're only stockpiling food, which is a good thing, that's your emergency fund. So think about your emergency fund with your cash. If you're always using it, you're going to run out of it fairly quickly, right? No matter how much food storage you have, you'll eventually run out of it. The ability to replenish it is important. I've talked about that before a lot of times. I hope you guys are doing these things. No matter where you live, no matter what your situation is, there is some way that you can raise your own animals and grow your own food. Even if you live in an apartment, if you're allowed to have pets, I don't know all the rules and regulations, but you could raise rabbits in cages for food if you eat rabbits. You can grow tomatoes indoor. You can get grow lamps. You can do hydroponics. There's a lot of different things. I know that maybe there's a ton of rules and regulations and all that stuff like that in those big city type places. I don't know, because I don't live in cities and never have. I've always lived fairly rural, in town-ish kind of suburbs sometimes, but please start your journey towards self-sufficiency if you haven't already. If you have started already, just keep on improving on it. Keep on adding to it. It's going to be important. It's going to be very important. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please subscribe. Please hit the like button. Please comment below. Please share the videos and do the things. Love you guys. Have a wonderful day. Blessings to you and yours.